Hi there, I'm in northern Minnesota, just north of Ely. I'm going to build you, it's pretty much a winter shelter. I'm not going to use a tarp, or I'm not going to use rope. Not going to use anything mechanical other than a knife, a bow saw, and an axe. So that's the only man-made items I'm going to use. I'm going to use what's available in the environment here to make this shelter. I'm going to use the balsam trees behind me to reinforce the walls, to make a floor. I'll use all the ferns to make a roof. And I'm going to use the small poplar around here to strip the bark off and use it as cordage if I need to tie anything. So we're just going to kind of figure out as we go, and we'll see what happens. See you in a bit. Alrighty, I'm about ready to start clearing the land here to make my shelter. I did put on some bug dope, so hopefully I won't be swatting as much as I did in the last take. What I'm going to do is, you can see there's a little circle of trees in here that can be the walls to my shelter. There's a pretty good sized tree right in the middle that I'm just going to cut maybe down a foot so I can make a bed that is off the earth and away from the moisture. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm going to use the bow saw to cut these trees, and then I'm going to use the axe to strip the branches from them, and we'll see what happens. I guess I probably shouldn't be filming during this because the tree will probably fall on the camera and it'll cut things kind of short. What I'm going to do is I'm going to notch the trees on one side and then cut on the other side. If you try to cut straight through the tree with the bow saw, what's going to end up happening is the tree's going to lean a little bit and pinch your saw in there. You're going to end up breaking your saw. So maybe I can demonstrate that a little bit better later on. So anyway, talk to you in a bit. All right, now for my center pole to support my floor, I decided to keep this tree here, just cut it a little short, and then I got some added support for my floor. As you can see, I already notched out the tree, so it's got a pretty good notch here. So now I have my bow saw, and I'm going to cut on the back side of this, and on an angle. And then as I get closer and closer, I'm going to push the tree that direction to get it to fall away from the rest of my shelter and not breaking the rest of these trees down. So hopefully that's going to work out okay. Alright, I got all the trees cut. It looks like I can work with this. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poles support my roof. They have roots, so this shelter should be able to take on a pretty tough wind. I cut my center pole really short so I can use that to support my floor. And so I think I'm going to get to work on the roof, and I'll make some support poles to support my roof. And I'm thinking maybe I'm going to just notch the top and drop them in the notches, and we'll see how that goes. We'll figure it out. Well, I notched out the top of the trees to accept the poles I made from the rest of the tree to make my roof support. So notched them out and made a V in the poles, so let's see how they fit. Well, they stick in there pretty good, so I think we're good to go. Let's cut some poles for the roof. Alright, I have my my poles done for my roof. Now would be the point where, you know, obviously for summer survival you'd be putting a tarp on. I don't have a tarp. Well, at least I'm not going to put a tarp on it. So this is pretty much a winter shelter. We're going to use pine boughs for the top. And in the wintertime, snow will accumulate on top of the pine boughs, and it's actually a great insulation to where things would be pretty survivable. But if you were going to put a tarp on this shelter, which I did slope the roof, but if you were going to put a slope on or a tarp on the shelter, you'd want to make sure it's really smooth, or else you're going to have holes in your tarp. I've been securing the poles with the lashing that I came up with the materials just right around the survival shelter. And this is a young poplar tree, and what I've been doing is I've been shaving the bark off, and it makes kind of a light lashing. So it's not super strong, but it's enough to hold the logs in place and take care of business. So I'm going to finish doing this, tying these up, and maybe put some of this structure on the sides, and start putting some pine boughs on. So we'll keep going. All right, I think I have enough structure for the hold the pine boughs, or the balsam boughs, on my structure. So what my plan is to take the boughs, start from the bottom of the structure and go to the top, and then how that works is as one goes in, I tie it off, I put another one over the top of it, and hopefully it'll wick the water down the side of the structure. And then for the roof, I'll start at the back and work my way forward. So I don't know it's going to be watertight, but we're going to do the best we can. So we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of time consuming, but you gotta kind of weave the pine boughs, kind of together, and yeah, it's real time consuming, but it's gonna look good when we're done. Hello there. As you can see, I started framing out a bed for myself. Just using the lashings the same way, and then using the existing trees to kind of lash them to and give it some stability. I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting balsam poles lengthwise there, and then put a nice layer of fern on there, and then I'll use the axe to shave off any branches that I didn't get. So once I get done framing in the bed, then I'll put the pine boughs on the far wall there. So a little easier to work without that in your way. So we'll keep going. All right, I just finished roughing out my bed. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put the ferns on the side of or not the ferns, but the balsam on the side of the wall there. I can always come back and I can finish and smooth the wood for the bed, but I didn't use any rope or any screws or any nails. Everything, the legs are all lashed with the poplar bark, and it's actually pretty solid. If you grab onto it, it looks pretty good. So we can smooth that out later. Let's get some walls on here. Well, I'm just finishing up my living quarters here, or my bed anyway, and who can sleep without a pillow? So I found this piece of birch. It's when birch goes bad or it gets really old, it gets rotted out, and it gets hollow, so you can see right through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these ferns and stuff them right in there. In both ends here, and then you just do it accordingly until you get the perfect firmness. So that feels actually pretty good. So I'll put that at the head of the bed. Feels pretty good. Guess I'll start working on the front. For the front of my shelter, I'm lashing everything together with the logs, or the poplar logs that I stripped the bark off to use for lashing. And then all I did is I took the bow saw, cut out notches, and then used the knife and tapped on the side, and it made kind of a keyway kind of notch so the two boards can go together, and then I can lash it, but it'll still carry the weight because the lashing isn't very strong. So we'll see how that works. All right, behind me is what I came up with to enclose the front of the my structure here. I like for it to open up because nobody wants to spend a long time cooped up in a dark hole. So I want it to open up. So I made this kind of a frame structure, notching out wood and lashing it together with the poplar bark. So hopefully it holds together. I'll put some pine boughs on it, and hopefully it holds together, and I'll get it up there, and then my last shot will be the finished product. Well, I'm pretty happy how things came out. It's pretty comfortable. The bed's comfortable. The pillow's comfortable. We have a nighttime mode and we have a daytime mode. Right now it's in daytime, obviously. And I think it's time to close up and go catch some fish. And again, everything I used, all I used is the axe, the knife, and a bow saw, and everything is actually came from about 50 feet from where the shelter is. So if you put your mind to it, you can just about build anything. So, all right, have a good one.